This demonstration is designed to instruct you on using MetaStock software and accompanying plugins. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell exchange-traded instruments, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. Thomson Reuters shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of their software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company.
All right, guys. Can everybody hear me okay? Is this acceptable audio for everyone, I hope? I noticed that it was fluctuating a little bit there a second ago. But let me begin by introducing today's strategy, and then I'll introduce myself. I'm going to talk about one strategy that the MetaStock add-on scans for, and it's called Fastball. Everybody knows the book. If you don't know it, the book is Around the Horn: A Trader's Guide to Consistently Scoring in the Markets. It's written around a baseball metaphor. It's really intended to give you a look at the market as the market moves around the horn. It's kind of the same kind of a concept that you have in baseball, right? About being a lot of order where sometimes it doesn't really appear there is order. The market's very cyclical. The book is all about that cyclicality, how to catch it on day trades, how to catch it on swing trades. When Jeff approached me to write an indicator package for MetaStock, my first response to him was that I had sort of so-so luck in the past with people who wrote indicators or companies that wrote indicators. Wound up being the case that I could flip the charts faster by hand than the software could actually go through them. That's not the case with MetaStock at all. This is an add-on that, let's say, to put it lightly, really blows me away and has really blown away a lot of the people we work with and a lot of the people who have looked at it. We structured it in a way that would give you sort of a little bit looser interpretation of the setups. That's something that I want to take a look at today. Those of you who already have it, you might notice that sometimes some of the setups are not exactly like the ones in the book. That's the way I wanted it to be. I wanted this thing to be robust and capture a broader selection so that you would narrow it down and find stocks the same way that I find them. So let's take a look at one of the strategies in the book called Fastball. Definitely very well represented in MetaStock. First, we'll take a look at my background. For those of you who don't know me, I have been part of a professional trading team, which is a husband and wife trading team, for the past 13 years. We are primarily long-short equities. I trade almost exclusively New York Stock Exchange stocks. This stuff works in any market. As long as you can define an open and a close, these patterns are going to work across the board because they are not indicator-based patterns. They are based on price and volume alone, right? So the things that really influence the way that a market moves are what's represented in the patterns that we trade, and I think that's why we've been as successful as we have been. It's not about trying to pinpoint a system that's going to trade, say, just S&P futures. It's about having a methodology that's robust enough to trade a variety of instruments in a variety of markets. But as I said, my focus, New York Stock Exchange, we trade primarily intraday. If you've read the book, then you know that most of the patterns in the book do have swing trading setups that go along with them. The market has been extremely volatile in the past year and a half. I haven't really found any benefit to taking things home overnight. There's been too much volatility. So right now we are trading almost entirely intraday. We do about 10 round trips on a heavy day. We do about 3 round trips on a light day. Could be 0 trades triggering if nothing meets the criteria, and that's okay by me. So it's all about the risk to reward ratio when I set them up, and if we don't get a ton of trades that trigger or even set up, then so be it. I'm looking for opportunities to make money. I'm not looking for opportunities to trade. All my entries and exits are pre-planned. Those of you who have followed my stuff for a while, you know that I'm all about plan the trade, trade the plan. It's really been our bread and butter, that we don't do a lot of shooting from the hip. I really find that that's a very, very tough way to trade, to get in there and find things as they pop up over the course of the session. Much better off figuring out the day before what you're going to do and then just going in there and executing a trading plan very, very robotically. Now, the methodology generates about an average 6-point return per month. If you want to translate that into percentages, you just do the math. It's 6 points would be $6 per share. So just go and figure out how many shares you're trading and what your trading account size is, and put those two numbers to work, and then you can figure out what your percentage return is. So if you have a $100,000 trading account, you trade 1,000 shares, you're not trading leveraged or anything, then 6 points would be 6%. A 50% or a $50,000 trading account, 6 points with 1,000 shares is going to be about 12%. Now, if you want to follow the trades on a daily basis, you can go to traderinsight.com, and I'll show you where the blog is there. My recommendation is run the MetaStock scans and get used to how this thing sets up. Like we're going to talk about this fastball pattern. Run the MetaStock scans, set up your trading plan, and then the following day go back and look at that blog and see how close you were in your selections to the ones that I made, right? Because there's rules to these patterns, and once you get used to implementing the rules that we've outlined in the book and the rules that are outlined with our trading service, you'll start to get the drift that not every setup is a setup, and there's reasons that you're going to pick certain ones over others. Now, I know that the folks at MetaStock are also giving a 1-month subscription to my service with the add-on. That's so that you can follow this thing in real time and see what your selections look like compared to mine the day of the trade. I think that's a great tool, and I would just highly recommend that anybody use it. It's not a pitch for you to subscribe to my service. It's just a great learning tool. If they're willing to put you in there and give you a month of access, then why not take advantage? Now, the setup we're going to talk about today is the fastball. There's two types of fastball setup. This is basically an expansion of range, expansion of volume. It comes either on the heels of a pullback or a consolidation. So the first one we're going to talk about is on the pullback in a trend. So we've got a trending stock, and we get a pullback. Then after the pullback, we get a breakout in the direction of the original trend, and that breakout represents the widest range of the past 2 weeks of trading, so that's 10 days of trading. And I want to see higher volume on the breakout day typically than average daily volume during the pullback. On the following day, we're going to enter 10 cents beyond the extreme of the breakout bar in the direction of the original trend. Here's what this looks like. This is an ideal example. So now let's say we just had a move up, right? This is a long side setup. We had a move up represented by that big blue arrow there, and it culminated in a high and a swing point high, and then we had a pullback in this area labeled 1. It got us down to a low, and then in the bar labeled 2, we've got that fastball expansion of range, expansion of volume. So we've got the widest range of the past 10 trading sessions popping up and out of that pullback. We're going to enter 10 cents above the high of the bar labeled 2. That's a daily bar. That's what MetaStock's going to scan for, is those daily bars. We're going to enter in the bar labeled 3. I should say before I go on, because I know I'm going to forget to say it later, one of the great things about the way that this scanning software is put together is, let's say that you're a position trader. Buddy Dave Landry, he's all positions at this point in his trading career. And I was talking to him about this thing, and I said, my patterns are very suitable for swing and position trading, big time frame trading. And all you need to do in MetaStock is go and change that bar when you're scanning. You just tell it to scan daily bars or weekly bars, or bump out into any time frame that you want. All these patterns work through all those time frames. So regardless what it is that you're looking for, the beauty is the software will find it. And the really nice thing is, you're going to see in a minute here how fast it finds them. I mean, it's unbelievably fast in the scanning that it does of the markets. But that was so I digress. That was the first type of fastball setup. We got a move, trending move, culminates in a pivot that moves us back against the trend again, and then we get a pop in the direction of the original trend, and we're going to get into a fastball trade the following session, 10 cents above the high or below the low if it's a downtrending stock, in the direction of the original.